welcome to Ladies of Another View. It is 2022.
Woohoo! Welcome to the new year.
Right, I am Mary, and we have Jan and Carmen today, and we have the honor of a guest, Margo Knor.
Yes.
I want to put the K in there because it's spelled K-N-O-R-R. I have friends that have Knor with the L's, but anyway, so I want to make sure I say it right. Margo Knor. Welcome to the show, Margo.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
I
we're so
appreciate
excited to have you because you've been instrumental in the community and getting great people here, just being an advocate for freedom, being an advocate for just sharing information about vaccines and the harmful side effects that it has, et cetera, et cetera. But let's first jump right to the ELC. Why don't you explain to us what that is?
Well, I kind of stumbled on it when my administrator of our children's school came out to my car and told me that the Department of Health had called him offering this program being set up in our schools, and he said he turned it down. And what it does is it sets up epidemiology. It stands for Epidemiology and Laboratory Capacity for Prevention and Control of Emerging Infectious Disease. So they set up these labs by offering nurses in our public school system, by offering free nurses, free iPads, free software, free hardware. And they are called screening testing programs. And these screening testing programs, if you look on the CDC's website, the definition of them is to find the unvaccinated. Like, it puts it right there. Like, the purpose is to identify the unvaccinated through this rigmarole of testing, quarantining, and then to deal with them appropriately. So I was reading through more of the paperwork last night, and I was just shocked at there is no hidden agenda here. It is using these children for medical research, and parents are unaware because I believe what's happening is the schools are under the impression they have to do this to stay open. But what's happening is the Department of Health, from what they told me, calls our administrators of our schools and tells them about this program and then this lucrative funding. And of course, school programs would love a school nurse. Well, finally, they get their school nurse. They take this funding, but it uses the children for continued contact tracing, for continued testing. And the testing is at the behest of a non-parent who is paid to keep this program going.
Wow.
So who's bringing the money? Where's this coming from?
The CDC.
Okay.
So from what I gather, the Rockefellers Foundation
That's a surprise.
They came up with the concept, and then I don't know how much funding comes from them or if it's just all federal through tax dollars, but the CDC then allots this funding, gears everyone back to here's what we're doing, and then they start setting up these laboratory type settings and atmospheres within our children's schools.
Wow, so what can we do to stop this?
You know, talk to your school administrator. It's such a violation of these children that you have to be proactive and you have to say, absolutely not. Our children are not going to be used for research, and I will decide when my child is tested. So that should never be at the behest of someone else. You know, they say, well, we have a waiver form, but really you as a parent have to be that decider. It can't be someone else's decision for you to test. You need to step up and protect your children. Because when someone is being paid to routinely test your child, just think of, you know, you'll know when enough is enough. Your child won't advocate for themselves. That's a parent's job. It needs to be removed from our school, and the funding really needs to be stopped.
What age groups is this going to affect of our kids?
K through 12.
K through 12.
And
so that's all of them.
Yes, and after school programs, anything related. So if there's after school programs that are kind of like daycares, but they're set up through the public education system, those
Well, we're
things.
a little bit more fortunate in North Dakota. There are some states where they're letting them vaccinate the children without the parents' permission or consent or knowledge. The kids get to decide for themselves, or they don't get to decide at all. So hopefully we can put a quash on this thing, and this won't take over in place of that.
Right.
So do we know if any of the North Dakota schools have accepted this money?
Well, I do know, someone told me Bismarck has not. So yeah,
Thank
you
God,
guys don't have to
Bismarck.
call
Stay strong. Stay
school,
strong.
the administrator in the Bismarck area. As far as I know, Bismarck has not. They turned it down. My children's school turned it down.
Wow.
So you got school administrators with a backbone who would never dream of using children for this kind of medical research that turned it down. And really, the ones that accepted it, you need to reassess what you're using children for. Anytime you're paid to use somebody else's child for research, it begins to draw really gray lines.
So now, did this have to go through the Department of Public Instruction in North Dakota to get the okay to put it out to all our schools?
Yep.
Okay, so the DPI approved this program, and then each school gets to say yes or no?
From my understanding, because when I put calls in about it, a guy from the DPI did call me back, and I forgot his name, but he said children are used for research all the time. And I said, but this is different. This is clinically testing bodily fluids of a child at the behest of a non-parent. It is so different and so fundamentally flawed. The concept behind it, everything behind what they're trying to do is so backwards from what is cohesive to education. It's just makes no sense to me.
Right.
And it scares me for kids. Like,
You bet.
Yes, they've been through enough.
they
Yeah.
have. And I'm actually, I'm a pro-vaccination person, just not this vaccine.
There you
And I
go.
think children, even if you listen to the FDA, children's risk-benefit ratio is such that the risk-benefit ratio is upside down for them to get this
Yes.
particular,
Oh, for sure.
vaccine.
Well, thanks for sharing that information. It's so important, and so you guys need to contact your schools. But we also brought you in because you have another topic that we're going to talk about.
Yes.
You are also in charge of the North Dakota BeTruthful. Tell us. We only have a couple minutes left. Tell us about that.
Well, BeTruthful.org is an organization that I am a board member of and co-founder, and we are really focused on bringing in educational speakers to talk to North Dakotans who you get to see on maybe national TV. Bring them into North Dakota and let people hear directly from them who are experts in their field and have done a lot of research, and we can enjoy being face-to-face with them. So
Nice.
Great. So you brought Charlie Kirk in last fall.
my mom was instrumental in that more so, but yes, yeah, with NDCA, we worked, I'm a co-founder of NDCA as well, but North Dakota Conservative Advocates brought in Charlie Kirk, and Mom had met him years prior, and so she kind of was nice enough to allow us to bring him in through NDCA, and boy, he kind of made a impact, didn't he?
Yes,
He did.
he did.
He absolutely
He
did.
certainly
And so
did.
this week you're bringing in Mark Morano.
Yes, BeTruthful.org then is a 501c3 dedicated to strictly education, and they are really excited to bring in Mark Morano. We are just thrilled. He is top front on the global climate crisis and really able to explain it in a fun way that just kind of just takes your fears down and you kind of get it, but at the same time, you got work to do.